Welcome everyone to the Dr. Blue Duck podcast, and I have a question I want to ask you guys about Chick-fil-A. I got the weirdest Chick-fil-A invitation, like one of the weirdest invitations I've ever received in my life, and this is from Chick-fil-A. I want to ask your advice about it at the end, or your opinion about it at least. So let's go and talk about what's going on in my gaming life lately. I've been playing Exhibition 33 on the Steam Deck and on my gaming PC, the RTX 5070, and wow, it is an awesome game. It's one of those games where I had to show my wife and just explain to her the basics of the storyline because it's that amazing. The music's pretty cool too, and no, this is not a sponsored video. It's just an awesome game, and it's by more of an indie publisher, so if you haven't tried out Exhibition 33 yet, try it. It is a RPG, turn-based action sort of game, which I'm normally not super into. Those aren't normally my main jam, but this one with its turn-based action kind of gives you more control of that. So you actually feel like you're fighting the enemies. I mean, it's a beautiful art piece of a game. So if you haven't checked that out, that is a game I would tell you to check out. I can't tell you for sure how great the story is going to be overall because I haven't fully finished the game yet. I'm still in it. And I mean, it takes me a long time to finish a game as a gaming dad, as probably for you gaming dads as well. So that's what I've been playing lately. I wanted to share that with you all. And lately, where I live in California, as you guys know. And in California, where I live in the valley, we don't get so much snow, but we do get fog. We get a lot of fog. And lately, we've gotten like the craziest fog where it just kind of engulfs the valley where I live in California. And it came in the other night, and it was so weird because we all stood outside as we saw it come in, and we watched it engulf our neighborhood to the point where my sons were just like enthralled by watching the fog, and my 5-year-old was like, I can't even see down the street. I can't even see the park anymore. I mean, it just completely covered our neighborhood and reminded me of Christmas. I mean, it just looked so Christmassy. So my wife and I were like, what do we do tonight? We can't go out and grab dinner. We can't go and do this or that. Do we just stay in? And we were like, no, we kind of want to do something. I mean, we're about having adventures with our family. So we were like, hey, let's do this. Let's go for a walk in the fog. So the kids were on board. My wife was excited. I took the double stroller, added some Christmas lights to it so it would be extra safe in the fog, and put the boys in the double stroller, and we bundled them all up in blankets and all, and then we went for a walk in the fog, and it was just like the coolest experience. We didn't see anyone else out walking in the fog, but we were, and it was really special in a way. We're having a great time talking about how it reminds us of Christmas. And my wife, I'm going to call her out here, she said it also reminded her of Halloween, and boom, my 5-year-old, that's when he was a little bit alarmed. And he was like, what? And he's like, I'm scared. And he started getting scared and probably imagined he was at Not Scary Farm or some weird place like that, waiting for creatures and monsters to pop up all over the place. But we just couldn't convince him that the fog wasn't scary after my wife said that. So we tried and tried and tried. We cut our walk just a little bit short, but overall, it's just one of those times where I'm going to look back at, and it wasn't really anything too special, but just going for a family walk in the fog was just one of those special moments that I'm going to remember. So I want to go to health really quickly because this is a channel, this is a podcast for gaming dads out there. And for some reason, I guess everyone else in the world knew this except for me. Now, I wasn't raised in the most health conscious family, but I guess I was not consuming enough protein. And I was doing some intermittent fasting and watching what I was eating, trying to eat the right nutrient-dense foods, but I was not getting in enough protein. So my wife finally asked me, well, how much protein are you consuming? And I told her, and she's like, wow. She's like, that's not nearly enough. So I'm like, oh no, okay. So then I went to work the next day, talked to one of my fellow buddy teachers who's really into fitness, and I asked him, and he goes, bro, where have you been living, man? Under a rock? He's like, you need way more protein than that. You need way more protein. So for the last 4 days or so, I've been just really focusing on increasing my protein, like by a lot. And what I've noticed so far is that I'm less hungry. There's less like sugary cravings. And I've actually lost 2 pounds by eating more. I don't know how that works. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I'm increasing my protein and I lost a little bit of weight and I'm feeling better and I'm not starving all the time. So we'll see how that goes. If you're a gaming dad around my age, you're not in your 20s anymore, and you're trying to work on your health, your fitness, losing a few pounds, that's my recommendation right now would be to, I'm going to the gym in the mornings, of course, but to increase your protein. And especially if you don't know anything about that, increase your protein and just that simple thing alone, see what it does for you. So my wife, different story. My wife, my 5-year-old, my 2-year-old, they're out at a store shopping while I'm at work, and my 5-year-old sees a mini Tubs Steve from Minecraft, duck. And he says to my wife, I think Daddy would really like that. So my wife lets him get it, or she buys it. And I get home from work and he's so excited to show me this mini Tubs Steve Minecraft duck. And I saw it and I'm like, dude, I really like this. Your kids get you things and it's like, that's nice. But yeah, he got me something that I'm like, wow, I really like this. I'm going to start collecting these. So I went online later that evening and I bought ordered a few more mini Tubs gaming themed ducks. One of them I got was Sonic. The other one I got was Doomslayer. So I'm excited for those to come in. I'm going to set them like right underneath my gaming monitor. So when I game, they're right there to look at. I don't like to collect a lot of things. I collect Amiibo, because I'm a Nintendo guy. I grew up playing Nintendo. I like those. Not all of them, but I like to buy the ones that I really enjoy and like. And I collect now mini Tubs ducks and enamel pins. Those little enamel pins you buy at places. When my wife and I had our second son, we like to go on all these just kind of more low-key adventures, but they're still adventures nonetheless. I mean, we're not like flying to Europe or anything like that, but we're going a 2-3 hour radius all around our town, trying all these different places and going to the beach, going to theme parks, doing stuff like that. So what I like to do is every time we have a fun adventure, a neat little trip, I like to buy a little enamel pin and add it to my collection. And I like to choose one that kind of represents that trip. Like one time we went to the Santa Barbara Zoo and my sons really liked the flamingos. So I found a little flamingo pin so it reminds me of that. So it's kind of cool. They're in my gaming studio. And when I look at them, it just kind of reminds me of all these fun adventures and memories I've had. And someday, a long time from now, hopefully, they'll go to my sons and they'll be able to look at them and be like, hey, these are all the trips that we went on, pins from all the different adventures we had. So that's another thing I collect. And now I'm adding mini Tubs ducks to that as well. And it kind of goes along with this channel, Dr. Blue Duck Ducks. Okay. So what else happened? Well, this was kind of a bummer. I got logged out of my Steam app. Now, there was an option to add more security and protection. I decided to click on that option, thinking, hey, who doesn't want to secure your Steam account more? A little number popped up for a few seconds or like a minute, and then it disappeared. I guess you're supposed to write down that number or take a screenshot, because I did not. And when I finally got logged out of my app on my phone, you can't log back in unless if you have that code. So I had to email Steam. It took about 3 days of me taking screenshots of my desktop accounts, because I was still logged in on my desktop, thankfully, and sending those to them back and forth until they finally had enough evidence to unlock that so I could actually get into my Steam account. So if you're new to Steam or you decide to do that extra authorization or protection, make sure you write down that number. It just pops up for a moment and that's it. They don't email it to you or text it to you. It just pops up on your screen for a moment. So make sure you save that. That's important. And my wife's birthday is coming up pretty soon, in a couple weeks. and we're gonna go to Disneyland. We're gonna have a fun time celebrating her because she is awesome. She's one of the reasons why I have this channel. She is the reason why I have a gaming PC now. She's just one of those wives that just supports you and loves you and just does a great job with the kids. I mean, she's awesome. She's awesome. I can't say enough about her, but I got her a birthday present on the Disney store. The Disney store had some things that were on sale, and I'm super excited when that comes. If you see any pictures of us online on my social media, you might see her with it. I don't want to give it away in case she watches this video, but I'm super excited for that. And last but not least here, some weird stuff with Chick-fil-A. Some really weird stuff with Chick-fil-A. So my wife and I get this weird invitation, and I guess Chick-fil-A, it's called a Chick-fil-A stuffed animal sleepover. There are popular events, I guess, at certain local Chick-fil-A's where kids drop off their stuffed animals overnights for adventures with the Chick-fil-A cow. And then I guess pictures are posted online for parents to see. And then it's followed up by them coming back in the morning for a morning breakfast and picking up their stuffed animal with a photo and a certificate. So I just don't know what to think. I thought it was a joke at first when my wife told me that we got this invitation that our kids can bring their stuffed animals to Chick-fil-A, drop them off overnight, and then they have these adventures with the Chick-fil-A cow, which I didn't really even know the Chick-fil-A cow was a thing. And then you go back the morning for breakfast, and I guess there's photos of your stuffed animals with the cow doing things, having adventures. I don't know. It just seems so crazy. I'm like, is this real? I don't know if we're going to do that, but it's one of those things where I just did not, I don't know if I still believe it. We might have to do it just to see if this is real. And I didn't know the Chick-fil-A cow was that big of a deal. Like, is the Chick-fil-A cow like on par with Ronald McDonald? Because I don't really know anything about the Chick-fil-A cow, but Ronald McDonald's like kind of famous. So I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. So I'm curious. And we love Chick-fil-A. Like, we love Chick-fil-A. It's just, we think highly of Chick-fil-A. I even like it when you get a kid's meal, that the kids get like this little book in the kid's meal instead of some toy, because the toys that kids get nowadays at food places are just, they're so horrible compared to how they used to be in the 80s. So at least they get a book, which is kind of cool, a small little book. But is this weird? Is it weird that you leave your stuffed animals to have adventures with the Chick-fil-A cow? Am I looking too much into that? So let me know if that is a weird thing. Let me know if you, as a gaming dad or a parent, have participated with bringing your kids' stuffed animals to have adventures with the Chick-fil-A cow overnights. Maybe what did these pictures or photos look like? I don't know. It's just so weird to me. So anyways, that's it for this updates for this week. You guys have a good one. And as always, be kind, use your minds, and game on.